Time for another round of Thru Hike Skill Practice Dice. I've already done this one, so let's go with Grocery Resupply. And let's roll a 6-sided. 5 days. Time to go to the store. I have finished my 5-day resupply, and I wanted to go through it real quick because this is something I don't hear mentioned at all in any thru hiker videos, and it's so important if you want to finish your hike. So if you're getting broken bones and really bad injuries, this could be the cause of it. So what you want to do every day, there's some essentials you have to have in order for your bones and muscles to repair while you're sleeping. And one of those is your protein, and one of those is your calcium. Now there's a whole bunch of other ones. You need magnesium, you need vitamins A and K and all this other stuff. But let's just go for the big building blocks because that's going to show you everything you need to know and why it's important. So I've labeled everything here by color code what it has. For me, and everyone look up your own range, my protein range is 90 to 120 milligrams every day. I have to have it in order for my body to self-repair from the hard work of Appalachian Trail hiking. For calcium, I need 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams every day to keep my bones dense so they don't break. And calories, you want to hit somewhere between 2,500, 3,000 on trail probably. Calories is easy. So what I've done is I've just laid out an example of what I would be buying during the week, and then just look at the average of how many protein am I getting, how many milligrams, and you start to get an idea of what is in which food. So for my breakfast, I have a carnation breakfast. I got lucky this week and found Alpine coffee, so I get to have a caffeinated carnation. And my lunch, I love peanut butter and jelly. I always go for the organic. I cannot stand fake peanut butter. It is so nasty. Once you eat organic peanut butter, you never go back. Crunchy and salted. I just eat this from a spoon from the jar. Of course, I am going to repackage it onto trail into lighter plastic containers. And I'm going to put this in like a squirt bottle so I can just squirt it on stuff. That's my lunch. I could just eat it like ice cream all the time. We'll see how long that goes for. I don't want to eat it in summertime, so I'll have to figure out something different for lunch then. But I'm not really a breakfast person, so I tend to go into the 12 and 1 o'clocks before I really start kicking into want to eat. So and it's loaded with, you do 6 tablespoons of this, and you have your protein, you have your calories, you have all your calcium, you have everything really that you need. Protein bars, picked out my favorite ones. These are my absolute favorite. I have a savory taste bud, so I don't like them to be too sweet. But this one is the lowest, and I usually don't get it unless I have to because it's not very much protein in that protein bar. So kind of get an idea of how high you can hit your protein numbers and which bars have them. 15. Then for dinner, I have one night with gnocchi, tomato paste, and pesto. Now for the pesto, you can also switch in like an Alfredo mix to get more calories for it. Really bump it up, and that's per pack. That's dumping the whole pack in there, just so I get some seasoning. And then I have a night with sardines, which are loaded with calcium, protein, calories, and any kind of cheddar side works with it really well for me. And there's one with a whole bunch of good stuff. These are amazing. If you can find these, it's 2 nights worth of food. So I have it kind of in the middle of 2 days, and use a creamy pesto sauce and just water. You don't have to add milk to these to make them good like any other packet meal here. And it gets a good bang for the buck. That's for half the bag, which is actually 6 servings, so 3 servings. Night 3, where am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 of this meal. I bought red lentils, which I would just keep in the bare bag and divvy them up 1/4 cup at a time. And before, like around noontime or so, I would just pour water into here and cold soak them till I got to camp. And then that night, this would be repackaged in a Ziploc bag, a quart freezer. So I could boil my water in my pot, pour it in the bag, put it in the pot cozy, and then at the end of it, kind of strain this out if there's any water left and add it to it. They're relatively flavorless, but protein, calories, right? So it's a good add. It's falling off. And crunchy snacks, and I always need salt. My body runs really low on salt. So something to crunch on because everything else is here is pretty soft. I don't like crunchy granola bars. And I have a trail mix to get my seeds, nuts, and berries. And I have a Propel, again, because I run low on minerals. Every other water I drink, especially in summer, has to have this in it for me, or I don't do well. So that's what I picked out. What I found from doing this is I average about 70 to 80 grams of protein a day. I'm a pescatarian, so no other meat but fish, and I don't want to eat too much fish just because it's a lot of flavor and because of mercury. So I'm going to get back to the protein in a minute. Calcium, I'm supposed to get 1,000 to 1,200. I fall about 500 short, no matter how I switch these up. And I'm going to tell you, unless you're eating tons and tons and tons of cheese, most hikers are falling calcium short, and that's your bones. So for me, I'll be bringing a calcium citrate, because that's easy on the stomach and doesn't have all the bad side effects. This is 1,000 milligram. I'll probably half them and then just have half every day, or find a smaller milligram if I can. The trick to this is your body can only absorb 300 to 400 milligrams per every 2 hours, I think it is. So you can't take it all at once anyway. The calories, I average about 2,000 to 2,500 until I get to my snacks, and then it bumps up nice. And hey, if I run low, he can always get some Fig Newton cookies, or who knows what, whatever you like, Pop-Tarts. I don't think I could eat too many Pop-Tarts. I go with this. This is my protein. This will be coming with me. 5 tablets is a 30-gram serving of protein. Perfect Aminos. It has all the aminos and in the correct amounts that they balance out, so you actually get the full 30 grams of protein. Your body can only absorb 30 grams of protein at a time in a 2-hour window. So what I see some of these hikers doing are going all the day long with junk food, and then at dinner time going, let me just eat a whole bunch of, beef jerky and tuna and cheese, drop cheese into my meal and try to hit these high protein dinners. Once you hit 30, your body's done, and they're really only getting 30 plus whatever out of their protein bars during the day. So be careful not to put all your protein into one meal. You really need to trickle everything out over the course of the day. Like I said, 30 for this. Calcium is, I think, 400. This is the multivitamin I found. When picking out multivitamins, I try to get that cover just some of the everything. Some of these are 100%, some are not, but it's enough to cover a range. I have the view about supplements that they're just that. They're a supplement. They're not a replacement. So I figure out the average of what I run every day just by doing this for a week or two. A pretty good example of how I'll be eating on trail. I got an average, and now I know about average what I need every day. I need a supplement. I don't need to replace it. So I only need 30 grams. I only need 500 grams. I only need like a few of the essentials at the bottom. So that's the one I found there. The other thing is these are all tablets, shelf-stable tablets. So many vitamins today come in those gel caps, which are just going to melt and get humid and nasty and expire and go rancid. So I wanted things that can last in summer in the pack. So I'll go over the weight of this in a minute, because in case you're saying, oh, I don't want to carry this bottle of pills, I think this is a 5-week supply because it weighs more than a meal. This is a 5-week supply. It weighs as much as 2 packs of tuna and 1 granola bar. So it literally, if you're counting 5 days worth of meals, for me, because I can't eat that breakfast, I just can't do it. It's less weight in my pack than you would carry for those meals. So don't make fun of me. I'm not carrying a ton of extra weight. It's actually coming out to less weight. So I always start my day with 5 of these. Even now off trail, I start with 5 of these. That gives me my first 30 grams. Then when I'm on the trail, I get my next bunch, and then at dinner, the last bunch. And by the end of the day, doing that system, I always fall over 90 and under 120. So this will be coming with me. For other options, look, macaroni and cheese is amazing. Look at the numbers on that. That's the Cabot. This is one of my favorite, one of my favorite trail meals. This is a white basmati rice. You can use any rice though. And it has protein. Look at that, 20 calcium, 10 protein, 350 calories. That's 1 cup of rice. This is a pineapple cup which only has calories in it. And these are from the deli at the grocery store. And I think it was 2 for $1. And I do rice and pineapple and sweet and sour. And it's like a Hawaiian rice for dinner. It's so good. If you're gonna go with ramen, that's a shrimp ramen right there. If you're gonna go for any kind of a mashed potato, you should always go for one that has the cheese in it. This one fell off. Because then you get more in your protein and calcium. So when you're going for a mashed potato, do that. Chana masala. Chana masala. I don't know if you can see it there in the sunlight. 12, 330, 100 over a Knorr pack of rice. So that's giving you a good, almost 30 grams of protein for dinner. And if you didn't want to do, I'd have sardines over here. If you didn't want to do sardines, look at the difference. Sardines is so much better than tuna. So that's why I don't do tuna unless I can't find sardines. Oh, this is junk food. That's more crunchy snacks. This is a fun one too. Make sure you go in your baking aisle and your soup aisle for little seasoned packets and soups. This is great if you had 2 people because you could share a dinner, and if you each bought one, and then every other night you use one, you'd end up carrying the same amount of food. You boil up any kind of pasta like that, and then while it's cooking inside your pouch, you just tuck this pouch behind it so it heats up vicariously through the other pack. And when you're done, you pour them over, and it's enough for 2 people. Or you could eat it as a soup, probably. This one, I don't know if you could eat that as a soup. I'd have to taste it. But anyway, it's a different way to flavor food and have something richer if you wanted that on trail. I'm getting tired of bland food. So these are just other options to think about and get creative in your grocery store so you're not buying the same old things all the time. Another snack that I really love is dried pineapple. I will buy a bag of this and divvy it up into Ziplocs, and it is fantastic, especially in summer for some reason, but a little bit healthier than gummies. If you don't have an idea of what's in your food, you're not going to know what to do at the grocery store, and you buy too much junk food, you're not hitting these minimums, and you don't even realize it. Over 6 months, your bones can really take a hammering by not hitting your base minimums. Magnesium, that comes from your seeds and nuts, so make sure you're getting that. That's a bone builder. But you also need vitamins A and K and a lot of these others that come from dark green vegetables, which you're not getting a lot of on trail. So that's why the multivitamin is there, because together, calcium, protein, magnesium, A and K are your muscles and bones. And if you don't get enough of it, you're gonna break your body down, and then you're gonna have an injury. And instead of just standing back up and going, hey, I'm fine, you're gonna go, oh geez, I just broke my ankle. So that's why it's important. Lightweight, easy swallow, and so much easier than pounds of protein powder that people bring in Ziploc bags. This is a 5-week supply. I don't have to worry about it getting caught in the zippers and the bag not closing or it spilling anywhere, and it's lighter than the 3 meals it's replacing for me. If you haven't been paying attention to your protein or calcium levels, now would be a good time to do it, up to 6 months before you actually go on trail. These are a bunch of the foods I put onto just a regular sandwich. I try to incorporate as many delicious, healthy things as possible. What do you got there? A noisemaker. Can I have it? You always bring me this when I'm cooking. You want to trade this for food? That's why? Yeah, I know you do. Things are scary, cemetery, red without obituary.